Today, I lost over 2 litres of water in sweat through plastering. That is mental amount of water. 2 litres. But why is that important? Because what it tells me is why so many tradesmen are exhausted on the tools, particularly if you're doing things like landscaping, scaffolding, plastering specifically. Then if you're not replacing the minerals that you're losing through your sweat, you're in trouble. So today what I'm going to do is show you my Garmin, show you some of the numbers that show me why tradesmen are so exhausted on the tools and what to do about it. So let's get into it. So firstly, why is this important? Because this is a really stupidly simple hack that you can implement to have more energy. 100%. The only caveat to this is that you need to get the right electrolyte. You need to be getting the right supplement. If you get the wrong one, it's just not going to make any difference. But just like a cup of coffee, if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, you feel that instantaneously. You feel the benefit. That's why it's so addictive. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of electrolytes that I use that are going to give you that same feeling. As soon as you consume them, you are going to feel the benefit. Now, with that said, if you're not interested in understanding the biology behind it and talking about minerals and all that sort of stuff, then just go to Amazon and pick up yourself some LMTs, electrolytes, or even some Pure Sports. Pure Sports are a little bit cheaper than the LMTs, but the LMTs are kind of like Olympic grade electrolytes, if you like, but they are costly. That's the only downside to it. So with that said, if you just want a hack, just go and buy these electrolytes, put them in your water, have one a day, and that will literally change your life. But if you want to know some of the science and get nosy and look at some of the numbers from my Garmin, then stick around. So what I'm going to be sharing with you right now on my computer is a session that I had today, which is plastering, and I'm going to go through some numbers with you here. So I track pretty much all of my sessions with plastering, so I can see like my heart rate, how much water I'm losing, the steps I take, etc. You can see here that the set was the best part of about 3 hours and 18 minutes and 23 seconds. With that said, it's really important to highlight as well, today is an extraordinarily hot day. It is 27 degrees. In the room I was plastering, it was the best. It felt, to be quite honest with you, like I was just sitting in a sauna. I was literally just sweating buckets. Subsequently, it was 2 litres of buckets of water. Now, as you can see here, 2 litres of sweat. Now, what's really important to highlight at this point is when you sweat, okay, you lose minerals. Coming out through your sweat is sodium. And there's an old saying that rings true. It says, where water goes, sodium flows. Where sodium goes, water follows. So in other words, when you sweat, you lose sodium, which is a big problem, because what happens is your blood plasma becomes much lower. In other words, your blood becomes thick, and what happens is your heart subsequently has to pump harder to get the blood to the vital organs, such as your heart and your lungs. And what that actually shows up as, and what it makes you feel like, is tired, fatigued, irritable. It doesn't matter how many coffees you have, doesn't matter how many cigarettes you have, how many breaks you have, you just can't seem to get your energy back. Chances are you are super dehydrated. So with that said, as I've already alluded to at the beginning of this video, the way to eradicate this issue is just to buy some electrolytes. Now again, as it says in the name, electrolytes are kind of electricity, okay? That's kind of the way to think of it, because you are made up of about 30 to 37 trillion cells, believe it or not. And those cells need to talk to each other, and they do that with electricity, okay? You're kind of like a battery. You've got to be thinking of electrolytes like, how can I put it? It's like a charger for those cells. It makes your cells really powerful. It gives them energy. And subsequently, how that makes you feel is it gives you more energy. Now, again, in electrolytes, you have sodium, potassium, magnesium, malate, which is really important. There's several different types of magnesium, but it's magnesium malate that are in electrolytes. Now, again, without going too much off on a bit of a tangent here, I'm not going to go on the cellular level about how sodium allows water to enter and also stay in the cell. But just know that electrolytes are your friend. At the end of the day, what I want you to take away from this video is that with electrolytes, they're basically going to keep you hydrated. They're going to keep your blood plasma at a relatively high level. Now, I appreciate that this concept might be new to you, but if it is, I don't want to bore you too much with the cellular science and all that sort of stuff. Just know that you need electrolytes. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please consider to subscribe. The benefit of subscribing is you are going to be getting little tips and tricks and training and all that sort of stuff that's going to help you to have an easier life on the tools, to have more energy. Because at the end of the day, energy is life. And if you don't have any energy, you don't have any life. Basically, that's the nuts and bolts of it. If you want to find another video that I've done or look at another video I've done about my BDB triangle, I'm going to put a link here or somewhere around here that you can click that talks with you and explains to you about my BDB triangle, which consists of training, nutrition and rest. Subsequently, this part of the video sits within the nutrition, within hydration. But with that said, if you've enjoyed the stuff I've been sharing with you here, please consider to subscribe. It will really help me out. Also, as well, I've got a podcast that I talk about all of this sort of stuff in much more of a granular detail. So if you feel that that's going to be something that's going to benefit you, check out the details in the description. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.